All right, hello everyone. So let's take a look. It's a new week. So let's take a look at the monthly as well. Now here we got gold. Now, as you know, we had a bit of a drama again over the weekend in the Middle East. So I still say we should have some room to come down, but we are going to go long with gold here. 52.51 on the weekly. It's 2006. Well, let's say 2007, 2008. So I'm going to put 2007. Actually, let's do 2006. Right on the edge here. And 2008 is there. All right, so if we dip it down, that's one level. The other level to buy, it's not a bad idea, is if it comes down as 2012, which is going to be right there. Okay, so somewhere around there, 2012. Okay, that's on the daily and that's on the weekly. Now, in both situations, as you can see, we've got room to go up. So we want to follow this upwards as well. The only time you want to be changing your mind is if we break below that 2006 level. Then you're going to think to yourself, well, if we break below here, we might follow through to 46. All right, but at the moment, on the monthly, despite the fact that we're at the highs here, okay, and it looks like it's going to like kind of push down. Why? Because it swept all the stops, closed lower. So the market wanting to push down is logical on the one hand. On the other hand, we might have some room to go up as well and follow that trend up. So what I will do is use these levels at Astra hours to go long. Okay, and the market opening up here, as you can see, is because of, we had an aspect, it's because of Mercury in the opening. It was right the opening, so the market jumped up a little bit here. So the market has potential to go up, and on the daily, that first level is LCL1, which is 2044, which is there. Right, so coming up to that 2044. On the weekly, that's 63. It's 2096. On the monthly, we don't have anything except that's a bit too far out. Oops. On the daily, so we might also just put this into perspective. 62, which is 2062. All right, so that's 2062 as well. So there might be a bit of room to go up into those levels, and then 2062 is going to be your second target if we keep pushing up. Now, I drew this purple zone here. Okay, so if we do close the gap, okay, or come to the previous day low down here, this is from Friday. That was an Astra hour on Friday. These were Astra hours here. As you can see, the market sold off from these highs. That was a bit tricky right in the opening, but that's about it. So what you want to do is with gold, if we do come down into this level down here into these levels at Astrals, I think it's worth going long with it. Let's take a look at SP 500. Friday indecision bar, and you can see Wednesday there as well. Friday was a swing day. Wednesday was a swing day. I think if you check your swing days, last week it was a bit crowded because we had the Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and SP 500 on a few different days. But at the end of the day, those levels are okay to be selling off. Okay, so if you used your technical analysis, Astro hours as well, you should have been okay. Let's check it out. In fact, all right, so these were the Astro hours. We had that 9:45 on the platform. I was 10:45 but on the platform, as you know, it's 9:45. So this was your Astro hour then. All right. So yeah, 9:55, 9:30. That would have been here. 8:30 here. All right, so that's an Astro hour there. And then 8:55 on the platform, which is there. 8:55 there. All right. So this zone here, the market, as you can see from there, pretty much going up into there and then selling off from there. All right. And that's your 7:50 in the evening, which is 6:50 on the platform, market coming down, and that's basically it. So SP 500 new week, as you can see, we're here. The trend is still up, as you can see, but last week, as you see, that's the PST line that the market kind of bounced off from. On the monthly, as you can see, we're there. And if you take a look at your swing days for today, we got on Monday. All right. So if the market pushes up, selling again is okay. I think it's still okay to do so. Where could you do that? 75 on the daily is 4,899, which is there. On the weekly, it might still be the high of last week. Okay. So going back up a little bit more or into the high of last week is okay, but this 4,899, if we find ourselves up here selling in this zone at the Astro hour, is not a bad idea. Euro dollar, as you can see on the weekly, we're coming down. We still have a bit of room to go down. And last week as well, we said we should sell if the market goes up. It didn't go up to the goodbye kiss, but it was pretty close. So the market sold off on those days, as you can see, nice and easy coming down. Okay, so what to do with it? There's a bit of a drama with this. Now, on the long term, we want to come down. Okay, so on the weekly, as you can see here, got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that could be the first wave of a long-term trend going up. So we'll have an A, B, C down. And this is the zone we're expecting, right? So that's our zone. That's our expectation. We'll see how things pan out as we move forward. The other thing with this is the daily should go up a little bit in order to sell off. Okay, but we want to sell off. As you can see, the market sweep the gap. It's all filled in nice and easy, but we've touched here so many times. Okay, this has got potential to break down. So where do I want to sell it? If I do want to sell it, where do I want to buy it if I want to buy it? So selling should be at the top here around 50 on the daily, which is 1.0907. 1.0907 is all the way up there. Okay. And the other levels are obviously the daily pivot at an Astro hour is good. And this zone is good as well. So if the market does come up into that level at an Astro hour, then selling is not a bad idea at all. Okay, to push it down. As you can see from last week, we made those targets. No dramas there. These ones. Now, if it does come down, you want to be careful about 32 and 30, which is the blue and the red line. And that's going to be 1.08050783. So 0805 is there. And 10783. Why? Because these are going to be targets, and if they are touched, market may want to come in and buy in order to push up and then sell off again. Okay, why? Because you'll have broken those levels closed below. So these levels will be a target. Okay, and then we should find ourselves further down. Okay, if you take a look at these levels here, Okay, you'll find that there are a lot of gaps the market will want to fill. You just need to be careful about one thing. Okay, for example, that's the level there, that's a zone. This is a zone here, as you can see. Okay, so if I was to do this, all right, that would be a zone as well. Whoops, nope. All right, so these are like zones that the market should target and aim for. All right, and if it does, then we should be pushing further down. This is why I want to be sellers. Okay, and that's how it is. So the market should wave in that direction and come down into this zone. And when it does come into the zone, we're going to be thinking about buying those zones again. And then they're pretty low, as you can see. So we're not going to drop there like a brick, but we should wave down. Sooner or later, it should get there. Now, that doesn't mean we're not going to be doing any buying at all. If we find ourselves at a good level, for example, like down here, okay, or down here. Let me put a line up here as well. So if we find ourselves in this zone with an Astro hour, we can go long. It's not a problem, okay? But this is what we're looking at the moment. So obviously no selling down here, right, on the support. What you want to do is wait for the market to push up and then sell off. On the weekly as well, you see we've got targets down here, 47.44, 1.0795 and 50. 0750. 95 is there. All right, so that's that. Let's take a look at Dow Jones, Nasdaq, Bitcoin. All right, Dow Jones here, as you can see, market's still going up. Also last week, remember with the indices, I said maybe we should just wait for the market to just start to push down and give us a sign that it's pushing down. Hasn't done that yet, but PST level 74, 38.079 on the weekly. Not a bad place, 38.079. Look at that, last week's target, spot on. 38.079 is pretty much today, which is right there, which means I can just pull this down here. All right, so the daily pivot pretty much. Okay, this zone is okay to sell at if it closes gap, which it should at Astro hours, or retesting last week is good, I think, to sell off as well. You see that was a target there. Market went up into there and then sold off. So this is the new zone for today. Selling here at Astro hours is okay. Let's take a look at NASDAQ, new week. Again, here we've got, last week, remember we had this here, those two lines, and pretty much that's what the market did, sold off. Friday, nice and easy again. So if we go up, selling again is a good option. On the weekly, what do you got? 73, 17,541, 17,541. So if we end up somewhere at 17,541, somewhere around there, okay. At Astro hours, selling is okay here, selling is okay here, obviously. Okay. The blue line here is your LCL1, that's 17,679. And that's down here 679. Right? So sell zone at Astro hours, it's all good. Bitcoin, let's take a look. It's a new week. That's the monthly. That's the weekly. As you can see. Now, this is also interesting. As you can see here, market closed the gap. You see how it nicely closed the gap and then bought off? You see there's another gap down here, right? So it should come back and fill that in as well. So is the market going to sell off? Well, this is nice to see. It's a breakout. So we could go up into 67, 45, 500. So 45,500 could be on the cards if it doesn't break down. So if it breaks below that 48, which is 41,672, then it's a different ball game. We'll have to reevaluate. At the moment, though, buying might not be too bad. A place to buy is also HCL1, 41,192, 41,192 is going to be here somewhere. All right. And that's basically it on the weekly. Let's see. See how it just nicely works on these lines. It's just like really amazing. Pretty much that's the case. So that's it basically with Bitcoin. Okay, I talked about this goodbye kiss line here as well. So if you sold off at the goodbye kiss, you should have been okay. Now you got to be a bit careful about this setup here. Like I said, there's a breakout. There's a breakout on the PST. It's got potential to push up and then sell off again. Okay, as you can see, there's a gap here as well.